How we doing, folks? Figured I ain't been on there in a while and did a little video of the barn we've been working on. It's slowly coming along, but I've had awful lot of help down here to help me work on it. My buddy Phil, best friend Phil, he came down here and spent about 3 weeks down here helping me do dirt work and getting everything set up and started and going, and then he had to go home. Hello Carol, hello Wyoming. But he came down and helped me for about 3 weeks, and then he had to go home, had other obligations, which I understand completely. And then small water guy and Mike came down here and stayed for about a week and helped me work on the barn and get a bunch done while they were down here. And then Max last week or beginning of this week, so I haven't got much done this week. Today's the first day I've really been able to walk around without my cane, so get started back on it. But I kind of wanted to jump on and see if I can get up here. I'll take you all up and show you the new barn, how it's coming along. It's slowly getting there. Let me turn you all around here where you can see. Oh, come on now. So, that's the barn. When I first started on it, I figured just by eyeballing it, looking at it, it looked like the ground was fairly level, but then once we got started, it ain't near as level as wasn't near as level as what I had thought it was. So we ended up hauling in about 40 dump truck loads of dirt and clay and built it up, the pad up, and hi Julie. Built the pad up and hauled some rock in, put some rock in, and poured the concrete piers for the trusses and stuff to set on, and so we could get to working on it. But I think it'll be pretty nice when it's all done. Got to get the tin on it yet. I got a few more boards to put on yet. Hi Jennifer. I got a few more boards to put on the other end wall, and then we're ready to start putting the tin on. But you can see how much dirt we had to haul in. We had to raise this end about 3 foot probably to get it up to where it's level to the other end. And we're going to have to haul some more dirt up here, and I need to bring it up to where the bottom of that board is. But that got it close enough to where we could go ahead and start on it, but it's getting there. There'll be a big door on this end to be able to get the trucks and equipment and stuff in and out of. And then over here on the back end of it, back there, the east end, there'll be another door back there for us to bring the hay and the feed and stuff into the goats. I'm gonna make the back side of it back here for the goats, for Norma's goats. But it's coming along. Yeah, Jennifer, me and 2 or 3 people that's come down to help me has done all this so far. It's 40 foot by 100 foot. So it'll be 40 foot wide, 100 foot long. Be a pretty big barn. I put in a small door here, be a small sliding door for the goats to go in and out of, to go in and out to the pasture. And then this here will be another, like I said, a drive-through door where I can drive into here to, because this about 30 foot or so of this end, I'll put pins in for the goats. And then the other part of the barn I'll have to store my hay balers and my equipment, and probably the camper for the winter will end up in here. Probably won't get started on the house till spring, so I'll probably end up parking the camper here inside the barn for the winter, and that way it gets it kind of out of the weather. It'll be a lot easier to keep it warm and so forth. I got a walk-through door that I got to put in. It'll go in over here on the west side of the barn, right there beside the big door. I just haven't framed it in yet. Well, these trusses I bought, the metal trusses, they actually came out of a turkey house. They actually came out of a turkey house down in Oklahoma. They were tearing down the turkey house, and so I went down there and bought these trusses. But the original trusses were only this here is the original leg right here of the truss, and the original legs are only 7 foot tall, because you know the turkey houses and chicken houses are real short. So I had to weld on these legs and add on to it, and then they're anchored into the concrete piers. But I had to weld those legs onto each and every one of them to extend them up to 12 foot. So that way I got 12 foot on the side walls. And then out here in the middle, it's about 18.5 foot. So to the bottom of the trusses right there is probably 15 or 15.5 foot. This door on this end, it'll be 14 foot wide and 13 foot tall. So as you can see, I can get the semi in and out of it without no problem. Now the door this door over here on this other end, it's just like a 10 foot by 10 foot door to get the pickup in and out of, to bring hay in for the goats. And then that little door over there is just like a 5 foot by 6 foot door, just for the goats to go in and out of. And then I'll put sliding doors on all of them with locks and latches and stuff on them. But like I said, I gotta haul some more rock in here. I need to bring this level up to the bottoms of these boards, keep the wind from blowing in. I'll have to haul more dirt in on the outside to get that done. Yep, happy anniversary, Jennifer. We put wind bracing in up here on the front, up on the top rafters, and then midway through we put in some more wind bracing, and then back on the other end there's some wind bracing. So it's pretty hell for stout. Hi boys. It's pretty hell for stout already, and you know, anybody that builds these buildings will tell you that the tin actually adds more stability to the structure than what the structure itself is. So yeah, I'll send it to you, Jennifer. And I've got all the tin out here. It's tin that I got from Terry up in Wyoming. I got it from him, I don't know, probably close to a year ago, because I'd planned on building a barn similar to this at my old farm. Morning, Bonza. I planned on building a barn like this at my old farm. It just never happened. So I've got all this tin here that I'd got from Terry up in Wyoming. It came off of his house and his barn. And so I should have plenty of tin here to enclose this building, get it all enclosed. So, and then I got some more tin laying over here. I got tin laying all over everywhere. Tin's always a good commodity to have laying around. I got some more of the red tin here, and then I got a bunch of galvanized tin that I'll end up using for when I build lean-tos out in the pasture for the bulls and the horse. So this is kind of what I've been doing the last 3 or 4 weeks or so. But yeah, it's see, I got to get some more boards on this side of the building to go up there around the top that you nail your tin to, and the trim and stuff too. I got to get those boards on still, but my back gave out before we got to that point. So Mike's done told me that once I get healed up to call him and let him know, and he'd come back down and help me. So that is a huge blessing. But yeah, it'll be pretty nice when we get this all enclosed and all done. We'll have a heck of a building. Oh, you don't need a step stool, Wyoming. I got a 14-foot ladder over there, and I've got a 20-foot ladder over there, and I got plenty of ladders. So yeah, it's starting to turn out pretty nice. Like I said, it takes a lot longer to get, well, like I said, we spent probably 2 weeks doing dirt work before we ever even started. And then probably another 2 weeks or so getting this framing all put in. But once we get down to to putting the tin on it and the trim and all of that, I got piles of over here of yeah, it's 160 acres, Jennifer. This here's all the guttering that I got. This here's all 6-inch commercial guttering that a guy had that he had left over from a job, and so I bought it from him because I plan on putting guttering on this building to try to collect the rainwater for watering the goats and the chickens. Hi, Okie. And then this here is just a bunch of the end wall trim and ridge cap trim and downspouts, and I got all kinds of trim laying around here to go on it. So I think I've pretty well got everything to do it all. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So I just gotta get my dadgum back healed back up. Get back into where I can get back onto the working. But once I can get this done, then I can start organizing some of this stuff around here and putting stuff where it needs to be. So we needed all this dirt to level this out, and I'm like, okay. So I got an old pond down here This old pond here was built over 100 years ago. They built this pond with horses and a drop sled. Is how they built this pond 100 years ago. And the dam had washed out on it, so it ain't got no water in it. It won't hold water. And I knew it needed to be dug out, so Jennifer, I'm pretty close to Eureka, Kansas. Probably the closest big town. But this pond here I knew needed dug out, and it's close to where the barn's at, so I could just dig the dirt and put it in the dump truck and haul it up to the building, dump it out. And then Phil was up there on the skid steer that I got from Dave down in Oklahoma. He was nice enough to loan me a skid steer, and I've had it for, I don't know, 6-8 weeks probably, maybe longer. I had it when I was moving. I had it at my old house to load the trailers with, and that way I could leave my tractor here to unload. And then I ended up bringing it over here. So this is the old 100-year-old pond that I started digging out, so I could haul the dirt up to where the building is. And there's the dump truck, boys. I bought this dump truck, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. Bought it out of Iowa because I knew it'd sure come in handy over here on the new place, trying to get stuff moved around. So this is my old dump truck I bought, an old Ford. Kind of reminds you of Butch's truck, but it's been a pretty good old truck. I've hauled rock in with it. I've hauled a lot of dirt with it already, and so I've got a lot of this pond dug out. I got a ways to go yet, but I figure I needed the dirt and this pond needed dug out, so we'd just kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So I come down and started digging it out, but the dam on this pond is washed out. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a big hole right there in the dam. There's a big hole right there. It's been washed out for years and years, and so it don't hold water. So I don't know. I've probably taken close to 6 foot of dirt. I've probably taken close to 6 foot of dirt out of here. I need to get some more dug out of this, and then get the hole put back, get patched back up in the dam, and then that way this pond here will be back to being a useful pond that holds water. So so that's kind of what I've been up to for the last month or so. That's why I haven't had time to do much of anything else. Yeah, the boys would have fun down there playing in that pond that I've dug out, where all the dirt's at. We did get our electricity in. I don't know if you can see, there's power lines now that run across over the power pole there by the camper. So I did finally get the power brought into here. So that was a big step in the right direction. So we've got that done. Now we got to figure out about drilling a well, seeing if we can hit water. So we got well water over here. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that building. I'm really pleased, and like I said, I'm really grateful for all the help that I've had, because I couldn't have done all this by myself. There just ain't no way. But I've had a lot of good patriots come out and help me, and like I said, my best friend Phil come out, and he's one that helped me get everything moved over here. And he'd come down and spent, I don't know, 2 weeks with me here a while back when we moved everything over here. We got a lot of work done while he was here then, and then once I got down here and started on the building, he came back down and spent another 3 weeks down here, and he's been a huge help. Like I said, and then Mike and small water guy come down, and they stayed for week and a half, and helped me get the barn as far as it is now. And then when my back gave out, we just had to quit for a while until I can try to get healed back up. Hopefully here in a couple days, I'll be getting back to rolling again. Usually this happens. It takes me about a week to 10 days to get around. So, like I said, today's the first day I've been out here walking around without my cane, so I know it's getting better. But still got a lot of work to get done here. Long ways to go. Hi, Carrie. Yeah, there's a lot of open space here, but it takes a lot of open space to have cattle too out here eating the grass. Got to have a lot of grass for the cows. I'm really hoping to get them over here before winter sets in, but I'm doing my best to get them here anyway. I got to get a lot of fence put in and watering systems put in and all that stuff before I can get the cows over here. But so that's kind of what I've been up to. Kind of what I've been up to. I went out this morning and I went out this morning and kind of walked around and did a little bit of witching to see if I could find any water anywhere. And yeah, I got a decent little trailer, Jennifer, this one here. I bought it, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 months ago, and it pretty nice, got a slide out on it. And the furnace works, the hot water heater works, and everything works. And I'm not opening my awning today, the wind's blowing too much. It's one thing out here in Kansas, you gotta. Yep, that's right. Witching for water. There's a couple spots because the house is going to go over there on the other side of that tree row, and there's another pond there. So I was over there this morning walking pasture with 2 metal rods, witching it out. There's a couple spots that I hit that I think may be a possibility of being able to drill and hit water, but I don't know, we'll have to see. That's about right, Carrie, that's about right. Well, I had the awning open here back when Phil was here. I had the awning open, and it was about like today. The breeze was blowing about 10 mile an hour, so it wasn't too big of a deal. And we was up there working on the building, and all of a sudden a great big gust came through at about 35 mile an hour and about ripped my awning plumb off my camper. So they say the water around here, most wells are only 75 to 100 foot deep. They're pretty shallow around this area here in Kansas, but there's not any water wells anywhere near the area where I'm at. So it's going to kind of be an exploratory deal to find out, figure out whether or not we can hit water. I know the people that I bought this from, they live up by town, up by Eureka, and they just tried drilling a well, probably 2 weeks ago. And they went down, I think they went down 100 foot, ended up with a dry hole. They never hit water. But it still cost them $4,000 to drill it. The wife's back home still taking care of all the animals. All the animals are still, I don't have any animals here or nothing else here, so she's still taking care of the farm back home while I'm out here trying to get this farm ready to move everything to. Somebody's got to be there to take care of everything while I'm gone. So once I can get things here to where I can get the livestock and all the animals here, then the wife can come out and then she'll be here to help me. So I'm trying to do everything I can to try to get that done. $10,000 per 10 feet. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Around here, around here it's expensive. I mean, here they're charging $55 a foot. So a 100-foot well costs you $5,500. But that don't include the pump or any of that. That's just to drill the well and put the casing in. But back home it was a lot cheaper. I drilled 2 wells on the farm back home, and one of them cost me $5,800 to go 318 feet. The other one cost $7,400 to go 413 feet. But that included the pump and the whole system. So it was a lot cheaper back home than it is here. But yeah, here the guy I've been talking to, he's a local guy, so he kind of knows the area. I've been drilling wells out here for quite some time, but he's $55 a foot is what he charges to drill it. And like I said, most of the wells are 75 to 100 foot deep. Yeah, most wells back home are about $7,000-8,000. You know, kind of normal. Hi, Mobo. Ain't seen you in forever. I hope you're getting along all right. Like I said, it's been a huge plus advantage to get that right there, that light pole. Of course, that light pole right there cost me $7,500 to have it put in too. Everything out here is just outrageous expensive. Outrageous. But if I can get them to come out here and drill me a well, if I can hit water, I'll do all the pump and all the system and everything myself. I'll just have them drill it. But we ain't had no rain out here in quite a while. We haven't got no rain in, I don't know, probably about 6 weeks. This pond back here, it was up fairly full the last rain we had, and the water level dropped quite a bit in it. But like I said, we haven't had any rain in 6 weeks now, so it's getting pretty dadgum dry out here. This pond here, it was built in the 60s when they built this little pond. But yeah, pretty crazy, ain't it? Okay. They charged me for 2 light poles, the transformer, the meter, the wire, the labor to come put it all in. $7,500 to get electricity. So this pond here, you can see the water's gone down. Oh, there goes a snake out across the water. See that? Just a little water snake. Oh, there he goes, up on the bank. But yeah, this one here, the water's dropped in it quite a bit. But haven't had no rain in probably 6 weeks. Probably we haven't had no rain. So I know, Okie, it's expensive. It's just crazy stupid. Crazy stupid. Yeah, she comes out here, Wyoming, every week or two. She'll come out, and she likes to fish in this pond. She said there's a lot of bass out here in this pond, but I don't know. I shot a turtle out of this pond yesterday, but I know one of the other ponds down by the barn. Oh, no, it's just the way the light's hitting it that makes it look like it's frosted. But like I said, it's gone down a long ways. Kind of concerns me when I bring cattle over here. Yeah, the way the breeze is blowing on it, kind of has the ripples out across the water. But the pond down by the barn, behind the old barn, I was down there looking at it the other day, and the water in it's really, really clear also, and there's a lot of fish in it. You can see all the fish coming up. There's a lot of fish down there, so I may have to buy me a fishing pole one of these days. You're still looking for the snake? Well, he done went off in the weeds now. He's gone now. I scared him out of the grass, and he went out into the water and just cut across the corner and then went back up into the grass. I hear you, Mobo. Busy time of the year. And say, when I bought this, I mean, you all seen all this before, but when I bought this was all growed up in weeds, and it had never been mowed, and I came in, mowed it all down for hay, and the grass all came back, but it's all warm season native grasses, blue stem and big blue stem and Indian switchgrass, and it's all native. And you know, your warm season grasses, it's kind of getting to the end of their growing season, so they're all starting to kind of go dormant now. But there's a lot of this here is blue stem, is what this is down in here. I mean, there's still some green down there, but if I got the cows over here, they'd pick through it. But yeah, a lot of this grass is just, you know, we haven't had no rain in 6 weeks, and you're getting into the season, and so a lot of it's just going dormant. But there's a lot of seed. There's a lot of this that's, if I can get around here we can see, there's a lot of this that's seeded out. See, I mowed all this and baled it, and then it came back up and made seed again. So a lot of this is seeded out, and this is all native stuff. So next year we should have a lot better pasture out here than what I got now. Yeah, it's pretty quiet out here, Carrie. Pretty quiet. I could show you, I guess, my while we had the loader, the little skid steer out here, we went down and was digging around down by the barn, the old barn, and found a wagon. So I brought this wagon up and set it out here by the road. It's my first piece of yard art, but it was the original wagon that belonged to the lady's grandparents that actually homesteaded this property. The people I bought this from, her family actually homesteaded this property in 1883, and it's been in the family ever since. And I'm the first one to get a hold of it from after the family. So a lot of this stuff that's on this farm dates back, clear back to when they homesteaded this property in 1883. So it's been really, really neat going through and finding some of this stuff. But we were digging around down by the barn, and we found this wagon. So we drug it out. So we drug this wagon out. I didn't disturb anything that's on top of the wagon. It is just exactly like it was parked down by the barn. And I picked it up and carried it up here and set it up here by my driveway. So this was my first piece of yard art that is actually an original wagon from this farm that her grandparents built. And the more I got looking at it, this wagon is actually built on a Model A truck frame. This is a Ford Model A truck frame that they converted to a wagon. See, they added the tongue on it right here on the front that hooks to the steering to steer the wagon. But this is actually when I seen the wheels on it, I'm like, well, that's like Model A type wheels. And so I drug it out and I looked at it more and more. So I look, and all this old wire. You see these here, some old steel wagon wheels. The outside bands are that go around the old horse-drawn wagons. All this old wire is actually old hay bale wire, where they pulled the wiring off the hay bale. They just wadded up, they throw it on top of this wagon that was sitting down there kind of in the junk pile. But they did carry. But I started looking at it and I'm like, this is kind of crazy. I was trying to figure out what it was exactly. And see, this here's an old piece of the horse's harness or some sort of deal they had on here. But see, if you look down in here, see how this hole right here is, and then see if you look back there, that's actually the transmission. That there's the original throw, it was like the throw out bearing to engage and disengage the clutch. And then that there would have actually been your, like your transmission, and there's your drive shaft that comes out of it, and then it goes back to the rear axle. And right here was where the handbrake used to go. See how it has the notches cut in it here for the handbrake. And so it was really cool. When I seen this, I'm like, yep, this has to go to the house. So I pulled it out, I carried it up here and set it up here by the driveway. And then when the granddaughter came out, she was like, oh my gosh, she says, Grandpa built that wagon. Grandpa built this wagon when she was a little girl. But see, here's the old body mounts, where the body would have bolted to the frame and mounted to the frame. It's actually an old iron wheel wagon. It has iron wheels on it. And it just has like wood beams that go from side to side, and then wood beams that go front to back. And all the wood beams are kind of rotted out on it. So I want to go down and take measurements before I move it, and see if maybe I can cut logs and make beams and put that iron wheel wagon back together. And then there's also down there in one of the barns is an old horse-drawn corn picker. It's a one-row corn picker that was pulled by horses. So I'm going to get it drug out also and get it brought up here. So I ran into we found some pretty neat stuff out here. And when I was talking to the granddaughter, which now the granddaughter was born in 1945, going through some stuff, and I found a really, really old walking stick. It has like a rubber deal on the bottom of it like a crutch does, but it's actually a walking stick. And the rubber part is deteriorated and almost like completely. When the granddaughter came out here, I gave it to her, and she was all kinds of excited. She's that's true, Carrie. She was all excited because she knew that walking stick belonged to her great grandpa, and it probably, that walking stick probably dated back into the 30s, maybe the 40s, but it's probably 70, 80 years old or more. But I figured it was her family's, so she should have it. And then we was digging around down by the barn when we dug that wagon out. We found this bottle, this little brown bottle, and on the bottom of the bottle it says Franklin Products 1845. So I did some researching to try to figure it out, and on the side of the bottle, I don't know if you can see it, Right here there's a line that says 6 cc's, there's a line that says 10 cc's, and a line that says 12 cc's. So I did some researching, and there was actually a veterinarian whose last name was Franklin that actually, he was the first one to come up with a vaccine for blackleg in cattle in 1921, and his office was in Wichita, Kansas. And that's what this bottle right here is. It's a blackleg vaccine bottle for the vaccine to vaccinate your cattle. So that was a pretty cool find. So I haven't done a whole lot of digging, and I know there's a lot of neat stuff here, but I haven't had time to go through a lot of the stuff that is here. I've just been trying to get the buildings done and get the fencing done and try to get things done over here to where I can get everything over here. So I've been really busy just trying to focus on that and try and get that stuff done, but eventually we will have time to go through some of the old barns and some of the old buildings and stuff that's here and see what I can come up with. Like I said, it's really neat because I bought this property from the original homesteaders that homesteaded this property. The homesteaders originally came from England, and they made their way across the United States, and they made their way here, and they homesteaded this place in 1883. And when they homesteaded this, there was no roads, no nothing. The only thing here was an old wagon trail that went through the property going east to west, and that was it. And so being able to get the property from the original homesteaders has been really a neat opportunity, because everything that the homesteaders had here or left here is still here. So it's really a neat deal. So I kind of want to jump on today, and let me turn y'all back around. Kind of wanted to jump on today and show y'all what I've been up to and what I've been doing, and give a big shout out to the folks that's been down here helping me. Like I said, Small Water guy came down and helped me for quite a while, a week or so, and then he had some stuff with the VA coming up, so he had to go back home, and then Mike had came down, which Mike and his wife are the ones that adopted Sandy, the little dog Sandy. They adopted Sandy from us, and then he also came back and got Penny. There's another little puppy we had. So Mike and his wife got Penny and Sandy from us, and he drove 4.5 hours over here to stay for a week or so and help me work. And Small Water guy drove 4.5, 5 hours up here, brought his camper up and stayed for a week or so and worked. And my best friend lives up by Kansas City. He drove down here 3 hours or so. He came down and actually just stayed in the camper with me, but he stayed down here for about 3 weeks and helped me get work done. So I've been very, very blessed to have the help that I've had. I sure could not have got everything done that's been done if they hadn't came down and helped me. So I'm very, very grateful for their help. And then, like I said, Dave let me use his skid steer, which helped tremendously. I mean, that was a huge, huge help also, to have that extra piece of machinery here that I could use, and the attachments for it and stuff. You know, I mean, I've been blessed and had several people that have helped, you know. So maybe one day. That's true, Okie. So maybe one day when I can get things lined out a little better around here, I'll be having a big old barbecue and big old rally here one day. It will happen. Once we can get everything going, we'll end up having a big rally up here just for everybody to come and hang out and visit. So, like I said, I wanted to jump on today and kind of show everybody what's been going on, and give a huge shout out to all the people that's helped us along the way so far, and definitely tell them thank you. But so anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. And I appreciate everybody coming in, and it's nice seeing everybody, talking to everybody again. So everybody kind of knows. I try to keep everybody up to date on what we got going on up here. So as we make more progress, I'll jump on here and we'll do another live. But like I said, when we get the barn, all the tin on the barn, then Norma wants to come over here and paint a giant American flag on the roof of the barn, which would be pretty cool. So I am Mobo. I got me a big old barbecue grill over here, and that's the nice thing about having this camper down here is, you know, I got a stove and refrigerator and all that good stuff. So yeah, there's times we'll have, you know, I'll throw some pork chops or something on the grill and make some fried taters and onions and some salad or a veggie or something, and we eat pretty good around here. Hungry, it's their own fault, because I usually have plenty of food around here for everybody. So like I said, I want to thank you all for coming in, and I really want to give a huge shout out to all the help that's showed up and helped me, and all the moral support that we've had. We're going to make this happen. We're going to make this happen. It's going to take a little time, but we're going to make it happen. I'm glad to hear you're getting along all right, Mobo. I was kind of wondering about you the other day. So, all right. Well, I'm going to end this, and like I said, thank you all for coming in. And when I get some more progress going, I'll jump on and we'll do another one and try to kind of keep you all up to date on everything going on. So, I know you are, Carrie. So with that, I'll talk to y'all later, and love each and every one of you, and everybody needs to keep their head on a swivel with everything that's going to go on here in the next 2 or 3 months. So better be stocked up and ready for the unknown. That's about all I can say about that. So, and we'll talk to y'all later.